What? What the hell? That is perverse.
Well,
Catches up to you slow.
a lot of things catch up to you slow, Dennis.
Good job. Good job. Not a guffaw, but a sudden funny realization.
Indeed. Look, sometimes guffaws are not called for, you know?
Right. Well, that's right.
I think we better get this show started here, Mr.
Guffaw
Mr.
here,
Mr. Dennis.
guffaw there, everywhere, guffaw. That's one of those words that when you
Sound like old
write it
McDonald?
down and look at it, you say that can't be right.
Yeah, guffaw.
That can't be right.
Yeah. Well, let's stop saying it then.
What?
Dennis, my man, look, we're back. We're back together. We're back together.
Just, ladies and gentlemen, he's being perverse tonight, so be ready. If you understand him as little as I do, we're all in trouble.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Look,
Take it away, Eric.
it's either perverse or perprose, right?
It's perverse.
Right.
It's perverse. I think you've been drinking a lot at your El Familia. What would you call your father's place in your hometown?
La Casa de la Familia.
Oh, La Casa La Familia.
Yes.
Sounds like spaghetti at the end of it. Familia. Hey, that's another one of our sound. Spaghetti. Spaghetti. Wait.
No. There's no way you're gonna do this.
Spaghetti.
Nope. There's no way a spaghetti is an onomatopoeia.
That's kind of Hannibal Lecter. Yes, I remember cooking his brains in some fine Chianti.
Okay, focus, my man.
Why?
Welcome.
Why?
Because
Why?
this is the part where we say hello to each other.
Everybody knows we talk before the show starts. They don't believe that when we say hello, it's when we're, oh, hey, man. I wondered if you'd be home. What are you doing, man? We should do some shows where we decide in advance of the show that each of us are going to play a character.
Uh-huh.
Then the next show, we do the entire show in those characters.
Huh.
The whole show. And see where it goes.
I'm not an actor, but like what sort of character?
An actor?
You're asking me to act. Do a thing in a character is called acting.
You're thinking about it wrong. I'm asking you to find that part of yourself that you want to expound into a character. It's your creation. It's not acting. So let's say that one of your things is you're an arsonist, which we know you are. We both know you are.
Fire.
And so that that comes into play.
All right. Well, let's light this baby up. What have you been up to, Dennis?
It's been a week of professional and personal volunteerism, where the stuff that I'm wanting to get paid for is so little fun. It's no fun at all. It's painful. And I've repeated again and again, I need the money.
That sounds like work. That's the definition of work.
Yes. That's not true.
Not fun.
You don't say that about work.
Get paid.
You don't say that about work. You enjoy your job. You don't like, oh God, I got to go to work today. You get up, you go to work, enjoy yourself.
That's true. There are sometimes tasks that I would rather not do.
Nothing's perfect, but it's not like if I were to say you happy in your job, you'd say no. You'd say, well, yeah. All things considered, it is work.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, that's always the fallback.
True,
well, after all, is work.
Right.
I mean, but some people love their work more than what you or I do, apparently. But the volunteerism I've been doing is around music and events and stuff like that, and it's just so joyful. It's so much fun, and it's productive, and people are collaborating, and it's there's no money involved.
Volunteerism is a word? That seems weird.
Volunteerism, yes. Volunteerism, not ventriloquism. That's different.
Are you a voluntarist?
Yeah. I was the MC at the big event downtown last week. That the name of it was Food Truck Festival, covers night, and 2 bands that do nothing but covers, including the first one was a bar band that you could do country and, folkish and do some rock and do some stuff and a lot of stuff that you remember listening to in the past 10 years. And a great female singer, accomplished musicians, fun. But the next guys got up and they were like headbangers, and their name was Rock RX. Included a bass player, or a guitar player, I should say, dressed wild and bouncing up and down the stage and singing all these songs of your generation, 9 Inch Nails and, just all sorts of crazy shit. And, Kurt Cobain, just crazy on this stuff, with a woman singer and a guy singer who could sing high octaves, not the bouncing 6'4" fucking guitar player, not him, but this other little guy, Spanish dude, real long black flowing hair, that he would do the headbanger, head shaking. Yes. And they brought up this female singer who doesn't always play with the band, and she struts out on high-heeled sneakers with soles that are about 10 inches high.
Damn.
All the bottom of the sole, real big, and they're flashing on and off. She gets a hold of this microphone, and she starts screaming Kurt Cobain like in harmony with this guy. And I'm like, yeah. It was so different, because I'm blues. Boring. Blues can be boring.
It is repetitive, but enjoyable. The blues.
And I'm going to get past the thing of a blues band opening for a blues band. Why do that? Now we're doing a funk band that's it's blues, but it's funky blues, so it's so close enough to be different, right? Or different enough to be close enough to not the blues. But they're funky, and they're fucking good. Real good. And then Johnny Bergen, my guitar buddy.
Yep.
Who's doing a tour in Japan coming up. So you sent me a tape of him interviewing this Indian guy. What did you learn from that?
I have forgotten. That was months ago.
All the most important things you ever knew, you've forgotten.
I've forgotten more things than there are.
You've forgotten more things than you'll ever know.
It's true.
Huh?
So true.
Whoa. We can put that on a T-shirt. Say it again.
I forgot already.
Oh, you did. That's why you got to put it on a T-shirt.
I've forgotten more things than I'll ever know.
I've forgotten more things than I'll ever know.
I mean,
the word forgotten has got to be real big in the middle. Gothic style.
Right.
So that's what they say in all the other words, like lightning above it and beyond it.
Here we are with our T-shirt ideas again.
Hey, look, how much we bring in the last couple?
I mean,
we had some good ideas. We had some good. I bet you if we went back and listened to those ideas, we'd think, now, you know what? You could make money doing that.
I mean, considering that we didn't actually make any of them, we sold out immediately.
Bingo. That's the secret to success.
So,
right?
I mean,
under promise, over deliver.
They're in such demand. They're so hard to get one.
Impossible. Our T-shirts, that's the motto. Our T-shirts are so hard to get. It's about impossible.
Yes.
They'd line up.
Right.
Well, you got to be good. It's just a waiting list.
Right. The demand is look, if you divide the demand by the supply, it's pretty much infinite demand.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
Because
Yeah,
if there aren't any,
I went and bought a new harp today, a new harp mic.
yes,
I took my amp, my cord, and my 3 microphones to the only guy who fixes amplifiers between here and Grand Rapids, 25 minutes north. Because I'm at my house checking my equipment, because I'm actually playing a gig tonight, like a gig with a dude who lost his harmonica player to illness. So I'm doing I don't know, 2-hour show.
wow.
But anyway, I got to get my shit checked out. And I'm in my office. I got my amplifier plugged in. It appears to be on. I stick the mic jack into it. I put my mic on, and nothing happens. It seems like the machine looks on, but are the tubes all burning as brightly as they should? Or, I mean, is there some problem here? Or is it the cord? Or is it the mic? I took the mic off, put my second mic on, nothing. Took the second mic off, put my third mic on, nothing. I said, well, fuck. It's my fucking amp.
Huh. What the?
Or the cord.
True.
Or the cord. And so I call, and I take it up there. And come to find out, this guy puts in the plug and 2 of the 3 microphones work.
So?
And we deduce, of course, that it's the mic. It's my mic. It's my Blues Blaster, which I must have dropped. And I almost kind of remember dropping it, but you drop them and they could be busted for good, as this one is. But I ordered a new one today. It's back order. And the guy said, of course, there's this one, and they sell them now with the mic is smaller and it fits in the palm of your hand much tighter, and the adjustment knob is outside of your hand. Huh. And you're just like this one, you're adjusting it with your left hand, or you switch. But it just looked different enough for me that it plays mouth covered. I didn't want to get something that and maybe it's a great improvement. It was cheaper than what I bought, which I think means something. Don't you?
It either means that prices have gone down or it's not as good.
Yeah, well, nobody's going down in price. That ain't happening anywhere. Fucking harmonicas are $60. The most I ever paid was $37. That was 2 years ago. That means the best ones are twice as much now as they were 2 years ago. Fucking Bidenomics.
Yeah.
I wish we had a better president. He's not president. He's not. He's not president.
They stole that election, I think. Well, yeah.
Oh God.
Good old.
So it's been a productive week. I got my sandbox done. I reclaimed a sandbox. A dude threw out that had folding slatted chairs, benches on it that open up. I got that finished. Let's see.
Have you built a sand castle in it yet?
500 pounds of sand. What's that?
Have you built a castle in it yet?
No. I wasn't prone to put water in it.
Huh. So
you got to have water and sand for a castle. I put it in it, and it's all stained and varnished, and the sand is impeccable. And I thought, you know what? That's a work of art.
But are you going to let kids play in it?
No. It's for looks.
Cool.
It's for looks. Yeah. No, I put a tarp over the top of. They play on top of the tarp.
That's good.
I'll get
Grandpa,
I'll get some stones from the driveway. They can play with those.
Do you have like an old hammer or something that's no good anymore that they could?
I'll give them that and a hose so they can clean them off because they're all mucky and muddy.
Yeah. So what do you do?
I can get those kids to clean stuff for me. What's that?
Yeah, if you could make cleaning fun.
Oh,
you could.
Hey, watch this. Oh, see, it was wet. Now it's dry. Oh, man.
That's
Can you
cool.
do that? Oh, can I? No, you're too little. Oh, please. Oh, please. No. No, maybe we should talk to, oh, no, just, all right, here you go. Walk away, hour later. Oh, man.
It's all clean.
I love this. Little dupes.
Yeah.
Strange little. You know, back in the ages in the what was the Victorian age where they considered children as miniature adults,
Yeah.
right? And the pictures, a miniature adult dressed like just act like mom and dad.
I mean, they feed up and down the chimney to clean, right? So, it's useful. Children nowadays, children are not useful for anything, really.
Oh no, I don't know what's happened. I don't know what's happened.
They just consume.
I know the statistics are people are living with their parents until nigh into their late 30s, even early 40s.
Yeah. It's
if you don't have to pay for rent or groceries, everything's just spending money. I mean, mow the lawn, whatever.
Yeah.
But we're getting ready for this. We're getting ready for this blues jam where Johnny Bergen, I've talked to you so many times about, finally got him booked here, and we're putting out the word, and it's a blast doing the graphics with this dude, who's got some of your skills, right? And oh shit, I called him today. I said, I need a handout. I'm doing a gig. I got to be there at 6:30. It's 1:00. I know you did a mock playbill, big 11 by 17. He did that last night. He did a last night. He also did a Facebook ad, and he sent them to me this morning. What the fuck? You already did them? We just talked about it at dinner time. But he stays up. He doesn't get out of bed till 1. And I said, I don't know about that stuff, but I'm going to this gig. I need a handout. Boom, boom, boom. It was so swift.
Look at you.
Sent it to me. I approved it. Took my phone in, coded it to the copy machine, made 20 color copies of this fucking miniature poster that tells all about the bands and pictures of them and the food, delicious looking ribs and shit, and the guitar,
ribs and shit. Hey, did anything ever come of that photoshopping I did of sax player?
Oh yeah.
You sent me.
Yeah. So I shopped it to you, and then I sent it to the sax player and his wife, and copied my wife, of course. It was her picture, and in the note, I wrote to them, pick by Nick, adaptation by Eric. And sent it to him, and the beach one.
Yes.
And then after that, when they answered back, what they wrote back was like, I'm going to North Carolina, man. I'll send you one, that's real from the beach, man. Cool.
Nice.
And my wife says, what did you do to my picture? I said, what? She said, well, it's my picture. I said, oh, no. You sent it to Tony. And you send it to me. When you send it to somebody, they receive it. It's theirs. You don't have a hold on it. You don't have a copyright. You don't have a license. There's no contract. There's no quid pro quo. That was mine. As soon as you sent it out. If you don't believe me, we'll call Eric.
Well, it's not technically true. The whole copyright thing is that whoever takes the image, whoever creates the first copy of it, owns it.
Oh, shit, don't tell her that.
But so, do you remember that there was a court case several years ago where this photographer left his camera out in the jungle, and this baboon came up and took some selfies, and they got published, and there was some question as to the ownership of the photos, because the shutter button was pressed by the baboon, not by the owner of the camera. So does the baboon own those photos? And
all we would have to do is sign it and say,
should he get royalties?
camera by. Well, the other thing is set up a fund for the poor guy, for the ape.
But it was I'll see if I can find some news articles about this.
Well, it's interesting. Yeah,
And
I would imagine.
I think
I know that this is the rule about copyright. It's copyrighted if somebody says it is. That's all it takes.
Well, but there's a sense of automatic copywriting without having to actually say it. I've researched it before, and I just figured that the best thing to do if you want something copyrighted, even though you don't have to do this, is you put in the bottom copyright. And people know. Yeah, I mean, although those can be like watermarks can be removed, and anyway, I think the judge came down and ruled that non-humans cannot own intellectual property.
Well, we'll see how long that ruling lasts.
A little speciesist, if you ask me.
I tell you, they're going to give rights to animals, and then they're going to give rights to plants. They're going to start with trees. Trees are going to have rights. They're the oldest living thing on the planet. The oldest living thing on the planet. They are, in fact, the largest living thing on the planet. They will have rights.
Yeah, I mean, trees are good. I like trees.
That's what Overstory is about. The Pulitzer winning.
Yes, novel. I need to read that. We have a copy.
I've told you, and I've said this before, that it's changed the way I think about things. And there's not a lot of books that do that.
I'm aware of some of the research. I've read a book by like a scientist that studies the interconnectedness of trees and forests and stuff,
and bugs and mold.
I'm really aware of what the science says, and just how crazy how it's all tied together with fungus, and like
yes,
the fungus is the nervous system of the forest. And
to that point exactly, an image that came to mind just as we began talking about it. So you're describing the image I had in my head, which is a rotted tree and a black beetle scurrying in the rotted tree. And as he does, some of the fungus from the trees and the seeds from the tree fall on his back. And he crawls out of the tree and into the woods. And that is the only way that the seeds can get transplanted out of the log, is on the back of these beetles. Don't fuck with the beetles. Yeah.
Ringo, yeah. Although,
isn't that wild?
Yes.
That's it. Kill the beetle, kill the migration of the seeds. And I think there may be something on the beetles' chemical makeup that it adheres to them or it interacts with them. But it's absolutely essential, whatever the detail is. But and so, did I say this to you? You're in a forest or somewhere out in the field somewhere, and you see that there's trees that are really old, and they're all planted in a straight line. And you, wow, I wonder who planted these, or, just perfectly straight line.
Sure.
And the answer is twofold. The most interesting of the two is that there used to be a fence there, and all the birds ate the cherries and the shit from the tree and sat on the fence and then shit the seeds out all the way up that fence line. Okay. And that's why it's perfectly straight. The fence is long gone.
So it is due to human action, but not intentional tree planting human action.
No, well, it's identical to the first reason in geometrics, in that the other thing is the tree falls down, And when it falls, it's because it's so big and so long and so tall and so straight, all the saplings that come up, if it's a rooted tree, that propagates through the roots rather than, which a lot of them do, shit grows out of all the dead trees. Those are straight.
But only for the length of what the tree.
Yeah, that's right. Not for like a fence line.
Right.
And there's in my old neighborhood, there are trees that it would take 4 people stretching as big as they could to get around the tree. It was in my neighbor's yard, but a lot of it was over my property. And
wow.
Yeah.
A group tree hug.
Yeah. Yes. Big, old. And those are in a straight line. There was another one across the street. There were some up the street, but they were all different kinds, but they were straight. And that's the difference between the bird shitting on the fence and the tree falling down, because a lot of the shit that ends up growing in the wood that's rotting in a short but straight line is shit from other trees. Not from this tree, because this tree's branches are away at the end of it. So all that rotted log, if it's an elm that fell or a oak that fell, then maples will spring forth. And oak shall spring forth maples. And oak shall bring forth maples.
Beautiful. So I know that if a tree falls and no one's there to hear it, it doesn't make it sound. But if a bird shits on a fence
and nobody smells it,
does
it really stink?
Does it? I don't. I think we've broken open a whole branch of philosophy here.
Well, let's call that our first accomplishment in 185 of these inane episodes.
Hey man, we are fast approaching the 200 mark.
Really? That's just nuts. That's nuts.
That's related to the linked ecology stuff. Have you heard the story about the wolves in, I want to say, Yosemite, where they got hunted away, and then they reintroduced the wolves, and that by reintroducing the wolves, they changed the path of the rivers. Have you heard about this?
No.
So when there weren't any wolves, the prey animals, the deer and whatnot that the wolves eat, would congregate and eat all the grass. And I'm getting this not exactly right, but it made for like strong river banks. And when they introduced the wolves again, and there were fewer of these grazing animals, and also the grazing animals had to be more fearful. They couldn't just sit in one spot and eat. It changed the way that it changed the
way the banks of the river grew, therefore
how much grass there was, and then the rivers changed course. And
yes,
and
fascinating.
Just how it goes all the way.
I thought you were going to say beavers. They were eating beavers while the beavers were there, and the beavers were building their dams, and no wolves. Fuck those wolves.
Beavers.
The river was going one way, and then the came and ate the fucking beavers, and all sorts of shit changed.
Beavers definitely fuck with rivers. I saw a documentary recently about beavers, and holy crap, are they interesting!
And there are so many of them. There were so many of them. Of course, as it turns out, that number could be eradicated. That number could be eradicated. Good Lord. The pelts were worth so much. Oh, my God. So much.
That's what the up around Mackinac Island. They said that that the pelt trade was where all the money was for
Yeah.
100 years
Yeah.
of just selling
Yeah.
furs.
Yeah. Well,
When it
yeah.
comes
So
when it comes to changing the course of a river, I always say
Right.
leave it to Beaver.
leave it to Beaver.
Right?
That's good. Have you seen beavers and beaver dams? I have. I can
Not
tell
in
you
person.
tales, but
No?
No?
I've never.
no. Well,
Not a
they're
dam.
big. They're big, and when they swim towards you, there's no mistaking it because the tail's big and you can see the tail. That isn't a gopher, a water gopher, And boy, the shit they build, man. 10, 12 feet high, all round as can be, entrances under the water. Just, I could live there. I'd have to create a hole in the top to get in, but I'd live with them. I could live with them.
Hey,
I'd live with the beavers.
that'd be a good Airbnb.
Instead of leave it to beaver, it'd be live with the beavers.
Airbnb Beaver.
Right, that's the sponsor. That's
Exactly.
the sponsor. Right
So
there.
you could rent out the beaver dam, and
Hey,
hey,
Airbnb beaver. That's good. That's good. Yeah, they got some big teeth, man. I mean, the damage that they've done. I've been, seeing trees that are 12 inches thick, even thicker, that have just been gnawed down and then pieces of them taken. And
I assume they aren't dangerous if they won't attack a human. I imagine, although
a beaver,
if you got up in their territory,
if you try to take their food or their children, they would attack your face,
yeah,
just like any animal.
that's
Right?
true.
Don't fuck with their kids and don't fuck with their food. There's only 2 rules.
Hey, that's basically, most of the 10 Commandments.
Which number? 11th?
I mean, most of them are all about no. I was thinking that's a pretty good system of moral code.
Which
Don't fuck with people's food or their children.
children? Or you really want to piss them off? Fuck with feeding their children. Yeah. What wouldn't you do? What wouldn't you do? What wouldn't you do to make sure your child was fed? What wouldn't you do? You know what the answer is? There's nothing I wouldn't do. Nothing.
Wouldn't do. I mean, would you feed them?
Nothing I wouldn't do. All options are on the table.
You'd feed them your arm.
Huh?
Would you feed your children your arm? Here, kids.
Well, I would have to be clear about why. That's where we would start. It can't just be, well, we want to make an ashtray out of it, with your palm open, and then we'll put your elbow growing out of a rock, and we'll paint it realistic.
All right,
Put a
fine.
candle
Here,
on it.
have my arm. Yes.
Yes. Oh, that. Yeah, we could sell it. We'd probably make, I don't know, $180, something like that. Whoa. Wow. That's good.
That's entrepreneurial limb harvesting.
If we had to put a name on it, hey, there's money in that. Huh? There's money in that. How about a T-shirt that had a couple of arms, arm wrestling, and on the back it said, "We sell limbs."
Yeah, that's good.
Huh?
This won't cost you an arm and a leg.
Just 2 arms.
This cost you an arm and a leg versus how much does an arm and a leg cost? is a
You
different.
could calculate it. Start at just ask your dad. He's probably had them replaced at least once.
True, he's on like his seventh arm. So
Oh mercy! Oh mercy!
so I've been enjoying having a local movie theater that I can go to. Wow.
Yeah. What did you go see? Did you go see the opening of Oppenheimer?
I did. I went on opening night. It was
Wow.
actually the day before the opening day for whatever reason, and there were 6 other people in the 100-seated theater.
Really?
Yeah.
It had the second biggest gross of
Yeah,
71 million opening.
but I'm in Podunk, North Carolina.
Oh yeah. Right.
So
That's big city shit. Yeah. Right.
I guess, and it was long,
Yeah.
and
Was it too long?
it could have been shorter. We'll say,
Huh. Interesting.
but Christopher Nolan sort of does that sometimes. Like
How long was it? 3 hours?
3 hours, yeah.
Yeah. Well, that is long.
A lot of it was, which I didn't expect. A lot of it was like congressional hearing
Factually based.
stuff, yeah, where presumably the actual script was like actually verbatim.
Yeah. Verbatim.
But it was good. The physics was interesting, and the personalities around Los Alamos were interesting and more or less fit with what I knew about it historically. And it's a good. I recommend it. My daughter sort of wanted to go and ended up not going, and I'm glad she didn't because
it was too much.
all of the politics. There's a lot of politics, and the whole communism scare. Like, it's pretty much as soon as World War II was over, immediately we were scared of the commies, and so that. But that was good. I also saw the new Indiana Jones movie.
Oh, yeah.
And I had really low expectations of that because I was like, come on, dude's 80. What are we even doing an action film with this octogenarian? And I was very pleasantly surprised. I mean, I guess my low expectations sort of...
Well, they took him back and de-aged him for a good part of the opening, right?
Exactly.
Went you back to World War II. Somebody told me the story like this, and I thought that was very smart. That nobody would have expected to see anything other but this old scraggly man's face in the opening shot.
And so that was really good. And of course they have so much footage of him at that age that they have a lot to feed the computers. And it wasn't perfect. You could tell if no one told you. If no one told you, you might not notice. But if someone said, "Hey, do you think this is faked with a computer?" The answer is obviously yes. But it was just good. It was an excellent representation of what an Indiana Jones movie is. Like, the fans should be very pleased because it was. There was a lot of the trope of he has to solve a puzzle to get to a thing, and he finally gets it, and it's so important, and he understands the meaning of this thing, and then the Nazis that are following after him come and take it from him, like, which is like happened in all the movies. And so, but it was I don't know, it was way better than I expected. So
well, that's good. So the one you bypassed was Barbie.
Well, hold on. Let me stay with Indy for a moment. So, how what year do you think they went forward to when they went to modern Harrison Ford?
Today.
No,
2023.
no, he was
2022.
okay. During the World War II, he was like 40, right?
Oh, okay. Okay.
So it occurred to me while we were watching the World War II part of it, I was like, oh,
1985.
they're gonna bring him back to the 80s.
Yeah. Right.
It was
1983, 84.
It was actually 1969 they brought him to. I guess they pretended he was like only 70 or something.
Oh,
Or
well,
something.
that math doesn't add up.
Yeah, it really doesn't. But they
69, 79. Oh, I see. 10 years. Right. So, yeah, well, he could, yeah. I mean, what's the difference?
if you were 50 in 1945, then in 1965 he would have been 60.
70.
45 plus just no, plus 20. Yeah, 50 to 70. Yeah. Okay. So
Right.
that works.
Well, he could. I mean, he could pass for 70 years old.
Yeah, true. He's a pretty good looking dude. And
Well, plus, he's fucking Harrison Ford. I mean, part of it is like, yeah, man, you can get away with it.
yeah, there's that.
Who doesn't like Harrison Ford? You know, I mean,
Yeah, he
his stuff got real schmaltzy and cheesier than ever. I don't know, the stuff they tried to be dramatic on. The original couple were so much more creative in terms of the shit he had to deal with. You know, the rolling big stone through the cave. And the other stuff just got to be like, I don't know, cliffs and shit that you see all the time.
right.
Like they ran out of clever shit, right? I mean, and it just got, you know.
And so before I get to Barbie,
You didn't go to see Barbie.
I'm planning on going to see Barbie.
Oh.
I've heard a lot of really interesting things about the Barbie movie.
My wife, who says that she's heard so much great and so much terrible. And she said it's fascinating because they all have such divergent opinions for
Right.
whatever reason, you know.
Right. It's how you take it. Yeah. So my curiosity is piqued so much that I think tomorrow I'm going to go with my wife and with my mother.
Well,
and
so here's a story to take with you, which is why I want to see it. What's his name? Ryan Gosling. I love him.
Yeah.
I love him. I've seen all of his movies.
Adorable.
I think he's extraordinarily talented. And I don't know that I've not seen all of his movies, including when he was quite young. And he tells a story where he was mailed the script and he thought it was really compelling. And when he walked outside in the backyard, having read the script, he found his child's Ken doll face down in the mud. And he wrote his agent and he said, I'm going to take the job. Somebody has to stand up for the Kens.
nice.
Nice.
Nice. Yeah. I apparently there's so many levels to the movie that your 8-year-old is going to understand it differently from your 16-year-old, from your 25-year-old, from your 40-year-old. I think it's. I can't say yet, so we will leave that for next time. I will give you my opinion. Maybe you can see it too. But
well, I haven't seen. My top of the list is Oppenheimer, which I'd like to take my father-in-law to it. He's 93. He sits and we watch these movies of that
war movies,
day and age, and he names the places, the people.
Right.
He's 93, remembers every bit of it.
Nice.
You know, including, you know, the Russian to Earth to Moon, all those years, all that history. Shouts it out. Shouts out the name.
Cool.
Andrei Gogunov. It's right. Sarkozy Dobosha. That's right.
That's cool.
Oh, Lord.
But I did see another movie that I also was curious to see because I've never seen one in the theater before. The new Mission Impossible movie.
Oh yeah, huh?
And
I would see that. There wasn't a one of them that I didn't like. I like
yeah,
Tom Cruise.
they're for what they are, they deliver. They are ridiculously far-fetched action movies that, I mean, it's basically the American James Bond is what that series is.
Yeah.
And and Tom still looks really good at some angles, and then there are other angles where it's like, whoa,
you do look 50 when he's actually 62.
Right, exactly.
Oh, I don't know how old he is.
No, he's like that age, yes. And it was good. I was amused that both Indiana Jones and Mission Impossible included a runaway train going through the Alps with people climbing on top of the train and eventually getting to a bridge, which looked like the same bridge in both movies that was destroyed or whatever, and the train stops or whatever. But it's just funny that both would pick the exact same.
Yeah, well, right. Or did they? I mean, it was new footage, though, right?
However much of it was in was captured by a camera versus just generated by the computer.
Right.
A lot of the
gotcha. Right.
A lot of the chase nowadays, you can do these chase scenes like with car chases.
Yeah.
That are where the angles and stuff and what you can do with cars, where it's pretty clearly all done in the computer.
Yeah.
Did I send you the how they made the car chase in The Old Man?
Oh yes.
Where it was all in the computer.
I watched that.
And just how it was not clear at all to me that there weren't actually cars in the desert.
They used mirrors and multiple cameras, and it was
like the people were in the studio for most of it.
Well, and it gives you an insight as to what incredible actors are. You would imagine if you're actually in a scene like that,
right,
and acting that part would be a little easier than doing, sitting in your bathrobe in the studio,
right, and conjuring that level of fear and danger and stuff. But so both the Indiana Jones and the Mission Impossible had some chase scenes that were so spectacular as to obviously be fake. Fake done in the computer, but still, it's good. It's entertainment. It's what we're here for.
Yeah, man. Well, yeah, I haven't been back to a theater since before COVID.
Wow.
And lately it has more to do about anything else other than scheduling. And plus, too, I mean, there's such a treasure trove right here when I'm laying on my back.
True.
Beer at the ready, chips in the dish. But the new stuff when it comes out, sometimes it's exciting. I want to see it. And then there's others that come out and I say, I'll wait.
And just to be able to participate in the online discussions of the new stuff, like if you wait 6 months until
you'll miss that. Well, in a movie like Oppenheimer, then I would say I think the dialogue around what many call a perfectly timed movie, which when you hear that, it's like, holy shit, that's serious.
Perfectly timed in what way?
Unknown exact. I'm not one of the people who said it, so I'm not sure why the people who've said it, but they have reportedly said it. I've read it in the press.
Time to
People,
to be released at this time of the year?
no. This time in the life of the country. This time in the sense of history.
Yes.
The historical significance in today's unraveling of the government, and dictators want to be run amok.
Right.
Trump wanting to, they've found the plan of the people that have been working for Trump, for him to use this executive authority to be in charge of hiring and firing what by then will be called, they used to be civil servants, and surrounding himself with nothing but people that drank the Kool-Aid. Nobody like the insurgent within the Trump administration that released the anonymous editorial to the New York Times and said, there are people who work here are making sure that he doesn't push the fucking button. That guy just published his second book. I'm trying to think of his name, but fascinating. Ryan
Robert
Williams, maybe. I don't know, but close enough for now. But whoa, did you hear that shit?
Is that thunder?
That's thunder, man.
Wow, cool.
That's thunder. That's the house shook.
Sweet.
And the timing between the lightning and the thunder, is how you tell whether it's coming closer or further. Of course, you know that.
And
if that, I don't know, I'm going to watch. But if that's coming this way, there's been a storm alert. I've checked all my drains. I was out in the downpour with a rod that's about 9 foot long. It isn't any much thicker than a magic marker. And I use it to poke through the mud in my drains that I built to, loosen them up.
Right.
When the water, pops on them. And you see them bubble. And the one drain goes down. It goes down 8 feet. I dug it. It goes down 8 feet. I had a post hole digger that went down about 5.5 feet, 6 feet. And in order to get it down 8 feet, I dug a hole and climbed in the hole.
Yep.
And then, actually, I filled the hole with stone, so it all went down into this 8-foot drain.
I remember that.
When I took the cover off when I got home today, because it had been the stones had wedged the crevices where the water goes through, so I took it out and started banging it and put my rod in there. Almost lost my rod is 6 foot. I could have lost the rod in the hole.
Huh.
It was underwater because it was so deep. And as I was watching it, it started to drain like a fucking drain in a bathtub. It started whirling. And I thought, good job, man. It's going down so far. It's in the sand table that's beneath all the hard crust that holds up my garage and,
wow.
All the roots and stuff. It's under the roots.
Under the roots.
Well, not roots. Roots go down as deep as a tree is tall. So that's bullshit.
Huh. I actually did a little bit of work like that too. I never do yard work because I don't have a yard. But here I had to get down in a muddy hole and shovel some silt out of a drain. To let
you gotta keep a drain clean, or it just won't flow freely. Any impediments will start to build up. You should put it on your calendar. Do it without hesitation. 2 times a year should about do it.
You gotta clean your drains. A clogged drain don't drain.
Clean drain, clean brain. You won't have to worry about a thing. Chain. Chain, chain, chain. Chain of fools. Chain. Change a fool. For 3 long years. All right, I gotta go, bro. I got dinner to put out for the old man.
All right. Okay, that does it for episode number 190. You can find the show notes at happyhour.fm/190. You can support the show at patreon.com/happyhour. I will spoil the next show to tell you that I have already seen the Barbie movie and I have lots to say about it. So, stick around. I will be back in Spain and see you next week.